The gut-brain axis. Why the health of your guts determines your mood. Introduction. Time to stop treating the gut like plumbing. Welcome, everyone. For decades, when we talked about mental health, the focus was almost entirely on the brain. We discussed serotonin, dopamine, and psychotherapy. But with my clinical experience and the latest scientific evidence, I want to share a revolutionary truth with you. You have two brains. The first brain, encased in your skull, houses your thoughts and emotions. The second brain, the enteric nervous system, ENS, lies along your digestive tract. The amazing thing is that these two brains do not operate independently. They are in constant conversation via a two-way communication line we call the gut-brain axis. This isn't some abstract concept. This is real biology that explains why your stomach knots up when you're anxious, and conversely, why a chronically inflamed gut can severely worsen symptoms of depression and anxiety. In this deep dive, we'll explore the secrets of the gut-brain axis. We'll cover exactly how this communication system works, the powerful role of your gut microbiome, practical ways to build a diet and lifestyle that soothe both your gut and your mind. Let's explore this second brain together. Part 1. Introducing the two brains, the two-way street. To truly grasp the gut-brain axis, we need to understand the key players involved in this conversation. 1. The second brain, the enteric nervous system, ENS. Imagine the enteric nervous system, ENS, as the second largest network of nerves in your body, right after the central nervous system. It contains about 500 million neurons. That's more than the neurons in your spinal cord. Autonomy. The ENS can function independently to manage the entire process of digestion, absorption, and motility. Your main brain doesn't have to micromanage everything. Chemical factory. Crucially, the ENS is the body's largest serotonin factory. Around 90% of your serotonin, the vital neurotransmitter that regulates mood, sleep, and appetite, is produced and stored in the gut. Any disruption down there directly affects this enormous supply. 2. The great connector, the vagus nerve. If the ENS is the second brain, the vagus nerve is the main fiber optic cable connecting the two. It's the longest cranial nerve, running from the brainstem, through the heart and lungs, and ending in the digestive tract. The two-way flow. The vagus nerve transmits information in both directions, 90% upstream, gut-brain. The majority of communication travels from the gut to the brain. The gut is constantly reporting on nutrient status, inflammation, and bacterial activity. 10% downstream, brain, gut. The brain sends signals to adjust digestive activity. For instance, when you're stressed, your brain tells your gut to slow down. The calming path. The vagus nerve is the primary conduit for the parasympathetic nervous system, the part responsible for the rest and digest response. Stimulating the vagus nerve is a scientifically proven way to calm the heightened fight or flight response associated with anxiety. 3. The power guests, the gut microbiome. The gut microbiome is the community of trillions of microorganisms, bacteria, fungi, viruses, living primarily in your large intestine. Their collective mass weighs about 3 to 5 pounds and contains more genes than the entire human genome. We aren't just housing them. We are in a truly symbiotic relationship. In return for lodging and food, they perform critical tasks. Neurochemical production. This is the game changer. Gut bacteria produce neurotransmitters like GABA, the primary inhibitory chemical that calms the nerves and fights anxiety, serotonin and acetylcholine, short-chain fatty acids, SCFAs. When the bacteria digest fiber, they produce short-chain fatty acids, like butyrate. Butyrate is the main energy source for the cells lining your gut and possesses powerful anti-inflammatory properties. Part 2. From Gut to Mood, the direct mechanisms of influence. How can those tiny things living in your intestines possibly control your sadness, your anxiety, or even your decisions? There are 3 major pathways. 1. The chemical spill: serotonin, GABA, and tryptophan. As we mentioned, 90% of your serotonin is made in the gut. While this serotonin doesn't cross into the brain, gut bacteria do control the availability and regulation of tryptophan, the amino acid precursor that the brain needs to produce its own serotonin. If your microbiome is imbalanced, a condition called dysbiosis, this crucial precursor pathway gets disrupted. Furthermore, healthy gut bacteria produce GABA, the neurotransmitter that inhibits and soothes overexcited nerves. A shortage of bacterially produced GABA can amplify symptoms of stress and anxiety. 2. The broken firewall: the gut barrier and the blood-brain barrier. This is one of the most profound mechanisms. Both your gut and your brain are protected by physical barriers. The gut barrier. This is the single layer of cells lining your intestine, held together by proteins called tight junctions. It acts like a firewall, allowing only digested nutrients through while keeping toxins and harmful bacteria out. The blood-brain barrier, BBB. This protects your brain from toxins in your bloodstream. Leaky gut. When the microbiome is disrupted, those tight junctions loosen. The gut becomes leaky, allowing partially digested food particles, toxins, and bacterial byproducts to slip into the bloodstream. Inflammatory reaction. When these substances enter the blood, the systemic immune system is activated, creating a widespread inflammatory response. Inflammation and the brain. These inflammatory chemicals, called cytokines, travel to the brain, where they can compromise the blood-brain barrier and cause neuroinflammation. Neuroinflammation is a leading contributor to depressive symptoms, lack of motivation, fatigue, brain fog, and anxiety. This is the direct physical link between inflammation in your gut and your mood symptoms. 3. The immune activation pathway: the gut and immunity. Your gut houses up to 70% of your body's immune cells, the GALT, gut-associated lymphoid tissue. The gut microbiome is essentially the trainer of your immune system. Healthy bacteria teach immune cells to stay calm and only react to real threats. Dysregulated bacteria cause the immune system to become hypersensitive. This dysregulation leads to chronic, low-grade inflammation. The result: this chronic inflammation constantly signals to the brain that the body is under attack, even when it's not. This contributes to the state of heightened alert and pervasive sadness that characterize anxiety and depression. Part 3. The modern wreckers of the gut-brain axis. If the gut-brain axis is so vital, what in our modern life is destroying it? My clinical experience shows there are a few major culprits. 1. Antibiotics. Antibiotics save lives, but they are also a nuclear bomb for the gut microbiome. They don't differentiate between good and bad bacteria, causing a drastic decline in the diversity and number of beneficial microbes. This dysbiosis can last for months, sometimes years, allowing inflammatory bacteria to take dominance. 2. The standard Western diet. Lack of fiber, prebiotics, is the food for good bacteria. Diets high in sugar, saturated fats, and processed foods are critically low in fiber, effectively starving the butyrate-producing bacteria and promoting the growth of inflammatory strains. Additives and artificial sweeteners. Emulsifiers, preservatives, and artificial sugars found in packaged foods can physically damage the protective mucus layer of the gut and loosen those tight junctions. 3. Chronic stress. Stress is not just a mental issue. When you are chronically stressed, activating the HPA axis, your body releases cortisol and adrenaline. Microbiome shift. Cortisol can change the composition of your microbiome within hours. It decreases beneficial bacterial diversity and increases gut permeability, making the gut leaky. Reduced blood flow. Stress diverts blood away from the digestive tract, slowing down transit time and leading to digestive issues, which further fuels microbial imbalance. 4. Sedentary lifestyle and poor sleep. A lack of regular physical activity reduces gut bacterial diversity. Part 4. Recovery strategies. Rebuilding both gut and mind. The great news is that the gut-brain axis is malleable and highly responsive to intervention. By treating the gut, we can send calming signals up to the brain, which helps mitigate anxiety and depression. Here are the practical strategies. 1. Feed the bacteria. Prebiotics, the food. The most impactful way to improve your microbiome is by nourishing the good bacteria with the food they love, soluble and insoluble fiber. Top prebiotic sources: onions, garlic, leeks, asparagus, slightly unripe bananas, oats, and legumes. The goal: aim for diversity. Eat a wide variety of plants, fruits, and whole grains to ensure you are feeding a diverse community of microbes. Diversity is key. 2. Supplement the bacteria. Probiotics, the allies. Probiotics are live microorganisms that, when administered, confer a health benefit. Fermented foods. Kefir, live, unsweetened, Greek yogurt, kimchi, sauerkraut, and kombucha. These provide a natural, diverse influx of bacteria. Supplements. If you are recovering from antibiotics or have severe leaky gut symptoms, a high-quality, multi-strain probiotic, especially those containing mental health studied strains, like Lactobacillus rhamnosus or Bifidobacterium longum, can be powerfully supportive. 3. Protect the gut lining. Anti-inflammation. We need to patch up the gut leaks to stop systemic inflammation. Omega-3s. Omega-3 fatty acids, found in salmon, walnuts, flax seeds, have potent anti-inflammatory properties, helping to calm the overactive immune response and reduce neuroinflammation in the brain. L-glutamine-rich foods. L-glutamine is an amino acid essential for the repair and regeneration of the gut lining cells. Good natural sources include cabbage, beans, and quality animal proteins. 4. Vagus nerve activation. Calming techniques. Since the vagus nerve is the two-way street, we can use top-down techniques to calm it, and by extension, calm the gut. Slow, deep breathing. Slow, diaphragmatic breathing is the most direct way to activate the parasympathetic nervous system controlled by the vagus nerve. Cold exposure. Splashing cold water on your face or ending your shower with cold water can activate the vagus nerve. Singing or humming. These actions stimulate the muscles in the back of the throat where the vagus nerve passes, which helps to signal a state of calm to your nervous system. 5. Stress management and movement. Exercise. Moderate, consistent movement is not just BDNF for the brain. It promotes gut bacterial diversity and helps propel food through the intestines more efficiently. Prioritize sleep. Ensure you get 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep to reduce cortisol and allow your digestive and immune systems to perform necessary housekeeping tasks without interruption. Conclusion. Tending to your second brain is an act of self-love. My years of experience have taught me that we cannot separate the body and the mind. The anxiety and sadness you feel may not just be a chemical glitch in your head. It may very well be a cry for help from your gut. If you are struggling, please don't hesitate to discuss these strategies with your doctor or registered dietitian. Managing your mood may require medication, therapy, and a powerful shift in how you nourish your second brain. Treating your gut is an act of self-love and respect. With every healthy food choice, every time you choose a deep breath over a quick reaction, you are sending a calming, anti-inflammatory, and healing signal to both of your amazing brains. You deserve peace, and that peace begins deep within your microbiome.